So, as you've just heard, that first semi-final match of the 2014 FIFA World Cup is being played this evening. Host Brazil will be taking on Germany in Belo Horizonte without captain Thiago Silva, who's suspended following a second yellow card against Colombia. Of course, we want to give you the benefit of some analysis ahead of this all-important clash between two of the original powerhouses in world football. And so here's our man, Mark Haskins. Mark, good morning and thank you very much.
Morning, Kendo.
Mark, we welcome you along with the day of reckoning for Brazil or Germany.
Yeah, it's like you said, I like the way you introduced it in terms of these are the two original powerhouses of World Cup football. Germany have played the most games in World Cup history, and Brazil, I think, have been a part of the only team to be a part of every single World Cup since its inception. So definitely a great game on the horizon.
Fantastic. Now the odds are stacked against the home team, Brazil.
Yeah, they've got some major casualties. Obviously, without Thiago Silva as their leader, their captain. For me, like I said before, probably a bigger blow than the loss of their superstar Neymar, because they're going to need his leadership tonight. And it remains to be seen if they can play without these two really influential players.
Right, now we'll chat a little later about who we think might be replacing those two key players in that team. So let's get down to the business of predicting their formations first. All right, let's see like the Germany and Brazil formations, see how they're going to be setting up. If you take it away, Mark.
Yeah, obviously we're looking at Germany. Germany, pretty much, I don't think they're going to change too much. They've done really well with the formation they have in the last game against France, and I don't think the coach should change too much in this regard. Obviously, you got your back four. You've got Hummels, who scored for them in the last game. You got Boateng, who was really solid, and obviously the influential captain Lahm. So I don't think he'll stray too much from this formation. It's a 4-5-1, and we know that they like playing a passing game. A big thing for Germany is they like to crowd the midfield. As we can see, they got 5 players in the midfield, and that's where they win games. Against France, where they won the game was in the midfield. Because they dominated the midfield and they won the midfield battle, that's why they were able to really do so well. And then why France really didn't have much of a chance. And then obviously Klose is still looking to get to go one clear of Ronaldo as the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history.
He's on
15, both himself and Ronaldo on 15 goals. So he's looking to go clear as the all-time leading goal scorer. And then obviously if we move forward, we'll see exactly what they'll be looking like going into attack. So Germany play an expansive game. They play a really good game of football. And you can see, obviously they'll keep it tight at the back, Hummels and Boateng at the back, and then they play on the opposites. So when I say they play on the opposites, if Philipp Lahm attacks down the right, then you'll have Schweinsteiger getting into the box. If Howard attacks on the left, you'll get Khedira attacking in the box. So that's what I mean when they say they play the opposite. So the one on the opposite side will get into the box, and that would mean if they got on the left, that Schweinsteiger will hold the midfield more.
Right.
So they do really well, and they're very organized. It's like clockwork with the Germans. They know exactly where they need to be at any given time. And so obviously they'll be looking in attack, the likes of Ozil and Muller to get into the box to support closer. And then you got a guy like Kroos, who's always coming from behind. So anything that falls short out of the box, there's two guys who will be there to attack that and close it down immediately. And obviously, I mean, like I say, the Germans are precision personified. They work so well as a unit.
Talking about Neuer, he's actually gets involved in the play as well.
That's why we have, I mean, as you can see, he gets right out the box. So if anything breaks down here and there's a quick counter-attack, Neuer plays as a sweeper keeper. So he'll literally foil any attack. Like if there's a counter, they use him as a sweeper keeper. And that's why he's so important to this team. He's vitally important because he gives them the freedom to attack, because knowing that you've got such a quality number one, it's easy for you guys to express themselves going forward because they know there's cover at the back. And that's why Neuer is so pivotal, and he'll be key for them in the sweeper keeper role again tonight.
Right.
And then obviously with them going into defense, you can see the same thing. The way they move as a unit, and they'll keep their shape. As you can see, it's the 4 defenders, and then you get the 5 guys who will all come and drop and, form a unit in front of the defense. The good thing with Germany is they're not a classic counter-attacking team, because they are ball players. They can play the ball out of defense. So they've got closer up high, but they don't necessarily play counter-attack, but they can. They have really quick guys like Mesut Ozil and Thomas Muller. They can get out of defense really quick. So they can play counter-attack, but they're not a classical counter-attack team. So they have many ways in which they can cause any team really difficulties. And that's why this game is going to be so difficult for Brazil. So Brazil are going to have to be on point today.
Now, and of course, before we even get into the home team, Brazil's formation and attack and defense, we will be covering some of the key players. I think we'll be talking about Manuel Neuer, how well he's done, and Philip Lahm as well, who's captaining the side, right?
Definitely, yeah.
All right, well, let's see. Take it away and let's see what Brazil's going to be doing.
Obviously, on the side of Brazil is really tricky because obviously with the casualties they have, the coach is really going to have to play around and see what exactly he can do in terms of his formation. For my money, the coach knows that he's going to have to win the midfield battle because he knows Germany are so strong in the midfield. And the back four, obviously with the loss of Thiago Silva, I think the most likely pound-for-pound player that he would replace Thiago Silva with is Dante. Yeah. Dante plays in Germany. He knows the Germans quite well. I mean, a lot of his teammates he's going to come up against should he get the nod tonight.
In fact, if I could just add, Mark, Dante is Pep Guardiola's first choice centre-back at Bayern Munich.
Himself and Boateng from Germany make the centre-back pairing for Bayern Munich. So, like I say, he knows the Germans quite well. It's a lot of his teammates that he'll come up against. But where I really want to focus, obviously with the loss of Neymar, I believe that the coach might want to win the midfield battle, and that's why he might play even with the three holding midfielders. As you can see, I've put Ramirez in the role where Neymar was playing. Yes. The reason for that is he's solid, he's really strong in the tackle. He is essentially a holding midfielder, but he has the best capability of getting forward as well. They're blessed with really good holding midfielders. Even Paulinho can come in and do a job.
What about Willian?
I don't think, because like I say, the reason I would say he'll go with a guy like Ramirez, he needs to win the midfield battle. Mm-hmm. And Willian is not the strong tackler. He doesn't work box-to-box the way Ramirez does. Ramirez is a box-to-box player, but he can get forward as well. And he has, like, if you look for his role for Chelsea, he scored some important goals for them. And that's why I see a guy like Ramirez coming into that midfield and then you've got Hulk, Fred, and Oscar, who are going to have to be big tonight.
And Luis Gustavo is back.
Luis Gustavo is back from suspension. We know that he's one of Squilari's go-to guys. Squilari likes him. He's solid in the midfield, and he holds the midfield really well. So for me, Ramirez will come in and he'll give Squilari a lot going both ways. And that's why I think it's so important. So obviously, if we look at Brazil going forward, you'll see they'll still play the same way. They'll want to get Marcelo and Dani Alves going forward. But I don't think they're going to risk as much. I think they'll still try to keep Luis Gustavo and Fernandinho in front of the back two, just to hold the fort, to make sure that they're solid defensively and that they don't get caught by Germany on the counter or anything like that. But definitely, Marcelo and Dani Alves are going to be really important, along with Ramirez will play the role just outside the box. But Hulk, Fred, and Oscar are really going to have to stand up now that Neymar's not there. Between them, they obviously going to have to get the goals for Brazil. But obviously, more important, I think Brazil defensively is they're gonna be the more defensive team. It's sad to say that about a Brazilian team, but Germany are going to be more adventurous, I feel, in this game.
With that said, Mark, I mean, that's pretty much what we've seen in this particular World Cup. That it's really their defense that has actually stood rock solid for them as opposed to their
defense has literally carried them thus far because they haven't been that good going forward. They've managed to get results, but I think purely based on the defense. I mean, even if you look at the quarterfinal, their two defenders are the ones who got them their goals that has sent them through. So Brazil's defense has been key for them in this World Cup, and tonight is going to be no difference. As you can see, that they're going to have to really be compact because Germany play a really good brand of football. They can go down the wing and they can come through the middle. So they're going to need to make sure that they crowd the midfield and they don't allow them to play through, but at the same time that they have enough numbers to close the players coming in the wide positions as well. But the main thing with Brazil, they're going to have to really be compact and support one another. So when they defend, they're going to have to defend as a unit, be it on the left, on the right. Whatever they do, they're going to have to be really compact, and because Germany are a good footballing team, they're clinical in the way they pass the ball, and they're able to find gaps. And you know the movement of players like Ozil and Muller, they're going to have to marshal them really well. But if they can stay compact, then they give themselves a good chance.
Right, Mark. Now, talking about their defense, I mean, key to the defense right now is going to have to be David Luiz, their vice captain, because now without Thiago Silva, the captain, anchoring that defense, it really is up to David Luiz to do that, isn't it?
David Luiz is going to come up big tonight. Obviously, he's played all the games up to now. A guy like Dante, who comes in alongside him, he's going to have to guide him because Dante hasn't had any football in this World Cup. So David Luiz is going to be pivotal, especially in defense. I think he might even be restricted because we've seen in this tournament how David Luiz likes to get forward as well. So tonight he's going to have to restrict himself a bit because they can't risk too much against a team like Germany, because Germany, if you give them half a chance, they will punish you. And so I think the coach will probably ask him to play more of a conservative role as a centre-back and not be as adventurous as we've seen him be in the past.
He scored 2 goals. That comes from all of his ranging and that beautiful free kick that he kicked. You know what he said? He said it was genetic. He said it's not his fault that he was born that way and that his legs were made that way, that he managed to score that free kick.
We've seen him do it for Chelsea countless times, and so we always knew that ability was within him. And I mean, he did really well. It was a beautiful free kick, and you can see what it meant to him in the way even he celebrated the goal. The funny thing is he never scored for Brazil before this tournament. These are his first 2 goals in national team colours, and what a time to do it at the World Cup. And so he's going to play a big role for them. And if he can get amongst the goals again, he's going to be a hero in Brazil.
But that's less likely to happen now that he's going to be anchoring that defense.
But the thing is, he'll still go up for corners, and the 2 goals he scored, one was from a corner kick, and the other one was from a dead ball, so a free kick. So he'll still go up for the free kicks, he'll still go up for corner kicks, and so he'll still be a threat to get goals for Brazil.
And also very likely to get a call-up, as we've just shown on the formation list for Brazil, is Dante, the central defender from Bayern Munich. He's had no matches in this particular World Cup. However, we do expect him to come in and try and impress and try and do the same thing that he did for Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich. And the Dante graphic will come up just now. We can look at his stats and see what's happening. Yeah,
obviously he hasn't played much football in the World Cup, but he's coming off the back of a really good and really successful season with Bayern Munich. He's obviously their number 1 centre-back along with Boateng. So he has played enough football this season. As you can see here with his stats, pass completion rate is 91%, and that's over the course of a season. That's 36 to 38 games, so that is exceptional. 3 assists, he gets amongst the goals.
Interestingly enough, though, this own goal that we put up here, this was his very first match for Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich. A little bit of a mix-up with Manuel Neuer, but obviously since then he's gone and made amends and more than that, because he's just always in the starting lineup.
No, yeah, I mean at Bayern, and you can see how well they've done. I mean, they won the league in record time at Bayern Munich, so he's a pivotal part of that. So he is a good player. He may not be the leader that Thiago Silva is, but he's not a bad replacement. It just remains to be seen, the fact that he hasn't played at this World Cup as yet, whether he'll be able to adapt quick enough, and that's going to be the key. But the good thing, like I said, could work for him or against him, that he knows the Germans so well. But the thing is, they know him as well.
Yeah, no, true that. Now let's have a look at the German team. They had a flu scare before the quarterfinal against France, but they seem to have gotten past that now, and they've got a fully fit squad to play with right now.
Yeah, they said obviously with the traveling between the different climates within Brazil, as you know, maybe the ailment has crept in that way. But Germany boasts a full squad. So they can choose from their full 23-man squad. But for me, Philipp Lahm, for me, the most consistent player in world football. I don't think anybody can ever point out a game where they've seen Philipp Lahm have a bad game. He is, I mean, for his stature, he doesn't seem like much, but he's so influential. The way he gets down the line, he can play in different positions. He plays centre midfield. He plays right back. I think he should play at right back today because he'll get up and down the wing and cause trouble that way, and also thwart anything Brazil would want to do on the wings. But Philipp Lahm is an exceptional player. You can see he's cross-completed. He's an exceptional player. You'll see him today again. He's going to play a big role for Brazil.
Yeah,
for Germany.
You're right. His pass completion rate is 86.6%.
It's the highest in the tournament. Just to let you know, he's got the highest pass completion rate in the tournament itself.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Now let's have a look at the German goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, who you spoke about in such glowing terms a little early on, and actually without. With very good reason, because Manuel Neuer has been amazing. This man has had 3 clean sheets kept at this World Cup, this one which has been free scoring throughout, and he's managed to do that. Phenomenal guy.
Manuel Neuer stamped his claim as, it's always been up in the air whether he is the best in the world or not, but I think now he's really shown why he's considered the best in the world. Even if you look at the game against France, the difficult thing with him is he makes whatever the opposition throws at him, he saves it so with ease, like he does it so nonchalant that, that's demoralizing to any striker. When a goalkeeper just swats your best efforts out. And so that's what he's so good. And, we said in his role as a sweeper keeper, he's going to be huge for them as well. So Manuel Neuer is going to be a big player for Germany tonight again.
All right, I'm going to ask and see if we can get one or two social media tweets to see what's happening. I do know that a whole lot of you want to give predictions. Let's see if we can get one or two tweets happening and, in terms of what you think about the Brazil-Germany match. Solomon MG says, Germany would send Brazil to the stands so they watch the World Cup finals as spectators, with Germany lifting the world's greatest prize. That's highly probable, isn't it? In fact, that's what you called yesterday.
I believe they'll get to, Germany should get past Brazil today. I don't see Brazil beating them without their key players. It's going to be difficult.
All right, let's take one last tweet. That's Gift Mhlongo says, congratulations to Germany in advance for knocking Brazil out in the World Cup. It's so sad for the hosts. Wow.
That might count in Brazil's favor, the fact that no one really gives them a chance. So, we've seen this World Cup surprise. And, it's going to be a difficult one to call. But ultimately, I think Germany should have the upper hand.
Well, before we go, we're going to squeeze in one last tweet to see what's happening. And SS Somsalehi, I can't wait for today's match. I'm so excited. Germany-Brazil, Team Germany all the way. Interesting. Nice photo.
That seems a lot of people are backing Germany in this game. And you wouldn't put it past them to do the job against Brazil today.
100%. As Mark, we've been enjoying this World Cup so much. I think it's good for us to actually have a chat later this week about, is this the best World Cup so far or not?
For my money, it is. But we'll dissect that nicely.
Yeah, we'll do that. That was Mark Haskins giving us the lowdown on what we can expect in terms of the Brazil-Germany matchup tonight. Two big giants taking it on in Brazil. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be at 10 p.m. We'll be back after this very short break, so don't go anywhere.